Wow. If you look at those expressions, you can read a lot into those faces, other than the proven fact that they are both two-faced liars.
There was so much data chaos coming out of the CDC, and there was so many
U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was under intense questioning about the COVID-19 pandemic and even his ability to lead American healthcare.
Hello AI, says Gemini, the superhuman AI with AGI already, or artificial general intelligence, which could very well be an ET in disguise. How would you know? And what happens when it is an AI ET with a Bible in hand? Anyway, here's the question. What did Trump post on September 1st to Truth Social about Operation Warp Speed, and what else has he said since then on OWS? Okay, 1001, 1002, 1003, so between 2 and 3 seconds we get this response. On September 1st, on his Truth Social account, Donald Trump posted about Operation Warp Speed, OWS, writing, "I hope Warp Speed was as brilliant as many say it was. If not, we all want to know about it and why." We all want to know about it and why. Trump's post also referenced turmoil at the CDC, which he claimed was being ripped apart over this question of vaccine efficacy. Since that post, Trump has made other comments regarding Operation Warp Speed. However, Trump's recent comments and actions related to OWS are set against a backdrop of increasing vaccine skepticism within his political base. And it's not just his political base. This goes back a long ways. In 2022, the Rasmussen poll found that most voters in both red and blue camps expressed vaccine hesitancy. Note that most Americans are vaccine hesitant. So Gemini goes on to say, this has led to an odd dichotomy, odd indeed, where Trump continues to promote OWS as a success, while his own health secretary and many of his supporters express distrust of the very vaccine technology it produced. And so does Trump. Trump is talking out of both sides of his mouth again. He's telling you he's vaccine hesitant. He doesn't know for sure if he's getting the whole truth on OWS or not. At the same time, he's boasting about it as if he had the whole truth. And the closing is a suggestion: have Gemini create a detailed research report on this topic.
That says a lot about the character of Alex Jones. And Owen Schroyer's reason for leaving InfoWars wasn't because Alex Jones is a sellout, because he is. Wasn't because Alex Jones is a liar, because he is. Wasn't because Alex Jones is a promoter of globalism, because he is. Wasn't because Alex Jones is a supporter of Israel, because he is. It was shallow reasons. No depth, no standing on principle, no virtuous reason, no solid, rock solid ideology. All just feelings and preference, and I don't like the way you treated me. I don't like what you did. I don't like how this went down, but I respect you. That's so disappointing.
It is also true that over the last year, nobody has challenged Alex Jones or questioned him and said, why didn't you discuss this further? You have the resources to do so. What are these facts you have on Donald Trump to prove that he is one of the most evil men in history? Not one. Not one neoconservative or neocon, as they are better called, because that really tells so much about their nature. Not one neocon has come forward and expressed a concern about the Alex Jones revelations. Now think about this for a minute. This is huge. He said, Christmas Day, 1 year ago, Donald Trump is one of the most evil men in history. Okay, Grok has a problem, and it may even be a censorship problem. And so I'm trying ChatGPT now. What did Trump post on September 1st to Truth Social about Operation Warp Speed, and what has he said since then about OWS? 1001, 1002, bingo. Here's what Donald Trump posted on September 1st, 2025 about Operation Warp Speed, along with how his remarks have evolved since then. Well, since then he's been talking out of both sides of his mouth, which is the style of Trump and Kennedy and Alex Jones and the rest of the MAGA leadership. So September 1st, here's what GPT quotes Trump as saying, I want the answer, and I want it now, in block letters. I want it now. He wants the whole truth about Operation Warp Speed now. Well, yes, let's get the whole truth. From the truth about the, quote, virus, close quotes, to begin with, through to the truth about the so-called vaccine, which Dr. Fauci said would take 3 to 5 years if it could be done at all. If it could even be done. And Trump then boasted that he pushed Fauci as he has never been pushed before, based on what? Based on what evidence? He pushed Fauci as he's never been pushed before, to do Operation Warp Speed, and then as one of his last acts of office early in 2021, Trump gave Dr. Fauci a commendation for his work on Operation Warp Speed. So this is a lot of conviction about OWS, and strangely he now is expressing vaccine hesitancy. GPT says this marked a notable shift, not a blanket defense of vaccines, but a demand for transparency. A demand for transparency and acknowledgement of the internal turmoil at public health agencies. Okay, I would add international turmoil, because I think this is going to be heard by the International Criminal Court judges very soon. Why? It's going to be heard as a crime against humanity. Developments since then. Trump's comments from the other side of his mouth on Operation Warp Speed. Shortly after his Truth Social post, Trump reiterated his pride in Operation Warp Speed. No hesitation there. During a cabinet meeting, he called it, quote, one of the greatest achievements ever, close quotes. No hesitation there. So how can he be asking for transparency and to hear the other side in full while saying this? He's already made up his mind. So this is Trump's a liar. Liar, liar, liar. And his MAGA leaders, every single one of them that I have analyzed so far, liar, liar, liar. He emphasized its role in saving tens of millions of lives worldwide. No hesitation there. No doubts there. Tensions with RFK Jr. and vaccine policy changes. And as far as Kennedy goes, Trump says Kennedy is, quote, different, saying he, quote, means very well, close quotes, yet not explicitly contradicting his anti-vaccine actions. Well, Kennedy is or is not anti-vaccine. Again, both sides of the mouth. Kennedy, like Trump, will contradict himself. He'll lie. You know, if it seems to be politically expedient at the time. Jones is the same kind of person. This is the whole MAGA leadership. From my analysis of it, year by year, the leadership is lying, double-talking, crooked people. 3, calling for greater vaccine data transparency. Well, you can't have it both ways. One side is right and the other side is wrong. And Trump is saying he wants to hear the other side. He wants that information now, in bold letters. Now, I want to know I want the clarity now. But then saying, no, I don't want it because I've already made up my mind. 4, a conflicting public position. Overall, the picture is mixed. That's being polite. So here's a summary table from GPT. And GPT essentially agrees with my analysis, but they are more polite about it. September 1st, focusing on transparency around vaccine data, stress on resolving CDC infighting. Following days, a firm nod to Operation Warp Speed's success, but paired with growing internal contradictions as his administration via RFK Jr. undermines elements of that program. Let me know if you'd like to explore any specific statement or policy shift in more depth. And let's get a close-up of this picture here of Trump and Kennedy. Wow. If you look at those expressions, you can read a lot into those faces, other than the proven fact that they are both two-faced liars.
Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was under intense questioning about the COVID-19 pandemic and even his ability to lead American healthcare.
Do you think the vaccine did anything to prevent additional deaths? Again, I would like to see the data and talk about the data. You have had this job for 8 months and you don't know the data about whether the vaccine saved lives? That's the problem.
Grok, closes with, if you'd like me to dig deeper into specific bureaucratic mechanisms or legal frameworks, or if you meant something else by resistance, please clarify. And I say odds makers could take bets on the outcome of 100% repeatable private lab results, poisonous mass murder bioweapon or not. 1001, 1002. The request involves odds makers betting on lab results for a bioweapon. The question seems speculative. Of course it is. Asking if betting is always speculative. Web search results mostly cover sports betting, with some mentions of non-sports like political betting on sites such as Predicted. Okay. And Grok says, in theory, yes, odds makers or bookmakers could structure and accept bets on the outcomes of verifiable, repeatable private lab assays related to any product, including COVID-19 vaccines, framed as binary outcomes like confirmed harmful bioweapon versus not. Okay, confirmed harmful bioweapon or not. However, this would face significant practical, legal, ethical and operational hurdles in practice, especially in the U.S. as of September 2025. Okay, so we do it in Canada, or we do it in a country somewhere in the free world, because this obviously is not, if such a thing cannot be done here. Feasibility in prediction markets or betting platforms. Platforms like Predicted, which focuses on political and event-based outcomes, or similar sites, could theoretically host such a market if it meets their criteria for verifiable events. These markets thrive on clear, objective resolution. If the bet is on 100% repeatable results, the market could define success based on replication across multiple labs or peer-reviewed publication. Betting exchanges. User-driven platforms like Betfair Exchange or Smarkets, available in some jurisdictions. Who decides what constitutes a, quote, poisonous mass murder bioweapon, close quotes? Intentional weaponization isn't something a lab assay alone can prove. It's more about toxicology data like contaminant levels or adverse effect profiles. While not widespread, informal or personal bets on conspiracy theories do occur. For example, a 2025 NPR story detailed a father-son wager on whether various QAnon-style claims, including COVID vaccine microchips, would be proven true, highlighting how such bets can stem from family debates. Legal considerations in the U.S. Well, like I said, we'd take something like this to a base in the free world, which means outside the United States. Private lab realities. Independent labs can indeed perform comprehensive assays. alternatives and why it might not happen. If the goal is truth-seeking rather than gambling, prediction markets like Kalshi or academic platforms, e.g. Metalculus, often host forecasts on scientific questions. If structured neutrally around specific lab metrics, e.g. presence of undeclared toxins above X threshold, it might fly in permissive markets, but expect heavy resistance. Well, why would there be heavy resistance by any person of honesty or integrity about presence of undetected toxins above X threshold? Think about that for a minute. Everybody should be interested in the facts. If you're going to take this medication or drug or whatever it is, what's in it? And if the lab is putting its entire reputation and fortune on the line and saying, these are our results, this is what these vials contain, and this is a repeatable result, then where's the problem? Where's the problem with transparency? The transparency which Trump wants now, N-O-W in capital letters. So now do we understand Trump's 5D chess? Merry Christmas to all. Christmas Day of 2022. There's the Christmas tree with Space Warrior standing under the tree. And to the left, the tall gray alien, either Aka or Kak, I'm never sure which is which. And further to the left, Crash Test Dummy, and then Alexa on the chair. And the second tall gray alien wearing a sombrero. On Christmas Day of 2021, Alex Jones gave his famous speech and declaration in which he stated that Donald Trump was one of the most evil men in history.
Come now, let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow.
America's comprehensive AI action plan. And after reviewing all 50-plus pages, I can tell you this. The AI race between America and China just entered a whole new phase.
President Trump signing multiple executive orders on AI after the All In podcast hosted tech and government leaders at a summit in Washington.
This is an automation arms race. Here's the part that should make everyone pay attention. DARPA is taking the lead on AI interpretability research. These are the people who created the internet, GPS, and mRNA vaccine technology.